And Gary, can you tell
Yes.
us about the big conference on physical mediumship that's coming up in America?
Yeah. Hopefully we have some Americans. Thank you for tuning in and not watching the Super Bowl. So if you're into physical mediumship, which everyone should be, in April in Albany, New York, we have the International Physical Mediumship Conference on the 3rd to the 7th of April. So there's about 15 different presenters and teachers that will be working over the 5 days. We have four physical mediums presenting four seances. So there'll be me demonstrating. There'll be Kai Muger from Germany. There'll be Vinny Na, who's a Native American physical medium. And then we've got Bill Bolt, who's an American physical medium. So you'll get to explore different aspects of physical mediumship, see different mediums work. It's over 5 days, five full packed days. Mary, who's here, is one of the organizers. Karen and Inga, they're two of the presenters. So it's going to be full on. We've got a couple of spaces available at the moment. It's 900 for the 5 days, and that includes all the classes, all the seances.
Hello, Abraham.
Can you understand all that?
Yes, we can.
Let us begin with the first question.
Okay, let's start with Richard, who says he has a pain in his shoulder and he would really like a remedy for that.
Indeed, as I'm made aware of the energy, I'm aware that the issue lies with the ligament and overstretching of the ligament. If you'll speak to the medium afterwards, I will inspire the mind of a remedy which will help in this situation.
Okay. So Richard shoulder. There you go. But Abraham, they're asking the medium, how it feels for him when you step forward. But how does it feel for you when you connect with the medium?
And when I work with your side of life, do not imagine that we sit inside the medium's body and use it like a robot. Instead, what I do is I must lower my vibration to a level which the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the physical form can interpret and react to. I impress my intentions, my desires upon the mind of the medium. This allows the medium's form and the medium's energy carry out the actions and information how I intend and not the medium. But indeed, when I work in this capacity, I am very limited in my awareness that I would have when I reside within my side of life. And indeed, when I return to my side of life, when I return to my perspective, I must shed the energies which I have garnered from visiting and working within your side of life.
Oh, so when you speak through your medium or anyone really when we do trance, is it when our mind is very active and we have an intention, is it that sometimes the communicator will speak that? Why is
Indeed, I
that?
must inspire my intelligence upon the mind of the medium. If I can retain the control, you will get my perspective, my information, in the way that I would understand it. If the medium's mind is not settled, if there is interference, there will be overshadowing and interpretation from the medium's database and the medium's understanding. Therefore, you will receive information which is known to the medium or interpreted by the mind of the medium.
Ah, and somebody told me once when you have a strong belief in something, say me with child abuse, if I would allow somebody to speak and the subject would come up, that my subconscious can interfere in what comes out. Is that so?
If you imagine that your beliefs are like anchors, when we work with your mind, if we wish to work against your belief system, we need to have much further control than to work with an energetic pattern which is already known to you and accepted by you. But indeed, if we have enough control, if the mind is deep enough, if the energy is strong enough, then our interpretation and our beliefs will come through and not be overshadowed by that of the mediums.
Okay, thank you. The next, why are some trance mediums taken to what was described as an understanding planet?
Often when we work with your side of life, the most ideal situation is to put the medium into a state where they are not consciously aware of the proceedings. This allows us to have the most control throughout the sitting. However, if the situation is right, if it is beneficial for the medium's lessons and experiences that they have come to learn, then we may be able to take the conscious mind and the perspective to another space, another awareness, and we may utilize this time to provide education or learning for the medium's conscious to return with them.
Oh, okay, thank you. What energies exist in the quantum field?
It would depend upon which level you are referring to, which dimension. Indeed, one of the reasons we work with mediums within your side of life is because you are made of a multitude of energies, both physical and spiritual. And indeed, we may use the physical form to ground and to harness the energy. So it really would depend what your capacity is when entering and working with the quantum realm, and which dimensions you wish to utilize.
Okay. In your experience, what conditions tend to facilitate or inhibit spirit communication, including instrumental trance communication?
There are many factors which can affect my side of life working with your side of life. Indeed, we must work with the medium's mind. So if there is emotional disharmony, this will create a blockage. If there is physical or energetic disharmony, that will create a blockage. If we are working with the energy of sitters, if we are working with an environment, if we are working upon your planet, all of these play a factor, even down to the weather and temperature in the room, play an effect on the level of control that we have.
Thank you. How effective is crystal bed healing, and why do people have vastly different experience during a healing?
If utilized in the correct way, in the correct form, it can be very beneficial. If utilized simply to treat symptoms or to provide a standard set of energies to an individual, then it may not have the desired results that you are looking for.
So would the healing be always more effective if the crystals resonate with that form, with that energy? Would that be the difference?
You must treat every individual that comes for healing as an individual. You must make adjustments to the energy, to the environment, to the treatment itself, in order to give the client, the patient, what is necessary for their own personal healing. If you use a standard form that applies to everyone, then indeed some will benefit because it will resonate what they need. Others, it may not tick all the boxes necessary for them to receive the results they're looking for.
Thank you. During a healing session, how is it that the recipient is able to feel several sets of hands up on them?
When you feel hands upon yourself, when you feel movement in the body, most of the time, this is how your conscious mind interprets the energy and makes sense of the energy. Indeed, we work upon the physical form as well as the energetic form, and this filters down through the energy, through the cells and the DNA. And indeed, as your sensitivities within the physical world become known to you, your mind will interpret and make sense of these in a way that your mind can understand, often in the guise of feeling hands upon you. At times, this will be multiple hands. In truth, when we work with you, there is a multitude of entities that are working on you at the same time, all with their own expertise of what is necessary for your energy. But depending on your level of sensitivity and awareness will determine how your mind would interpret that.
Thank you. Karen, I am currently watching a TV show where people with Down syndrome fall in love. They love very easily and quickly. How can they with love so quickly can fall in love so quickly unconditionally? Are their brains processing love differently?
It's not that they are processing differently. Their biochemistry, the way the body perceives energy, their level of sensitivity is more enhanced, and this causes the effect. Everyone has this potential. Indeed, many are so bogged down with the material that they're not even aware of the energies around them, whereas others who have often mental conditions known to your side of life are actually more sensitive to their energies around them and the environment around them.
Okay, thank you. Are castor oil packs a good healing method for my chest pain, or do you have another suggestion, please?
Indeed, if you speak to the medium afterwards, I will give a remedy which will be more effective in this endeavor.
Thank you. Is it necessary for trance healer to know about the human anatomy?
Only if the medium in question is doing the work. If you wish to work with medical intuitive and the information is in your mind, then it takes much less energy for us to give that information for you to interpret and make sense of. If the information is not there, it requires more work, and there is always the risk of misinterpretation. But the same can also occur if the information is already in your mind. You may begin to second guess the information coming through to you, thinking that you are the healer, you are the doctor, and that your interpretation is right over what you receive. So indeed, it can be both a benefit and a hindrance, depending upon the medium and their level of awareness.
Thank you. What is the consequence of taking one's life if ill health is becoming unbearable, please? What are the consequences?
Indeed, for this I would advise that nobody returns to my side of life before they are mental. Also that nobody returns to my side of life in a way that they are not mental. I have never met anyone who returned to my side of life by accident. Indeed, if an individual chooses to take their own life, this has been chosen before they incarnate. Just like every other soul, when they return to my side of life, they will go through a healing process. They will not be punished for their actions. And indeed, even through this action, provides an experience, an opportunity for the greater whole to learn and to grow.
Thank you. Sometimes the healing session is not effective for a sitter. Why would that be?
To this, I would advise that the healing session is always effective. However, the desired outcome may not be achieved, and that is from a lack of understanding your condition, your symptoms, and why you're manifesting. Just because your symptoms do not disappear does not mean the healing was not effective.
So you talk often about everything is self-healing. How would, say, the gentleman with the shoulder, how would he be able to pick up why he manifests that? What
Best
could he
advice,
do?
if I must give general information on this subject,
Yeah.
to turn within. Too often in your world, the human mind is conditioned to look externally or to ignore symptoms. Indeed, you get a headache, and rather than address why you have a headache, or even the simple act of drinking some water because your body is telling you you are dehydrated, you instead reach for a pill, which will not serve the condition, but will allow you to ignore the condition further. So indeed, if you turn within, if you begin to question why you are manifesting these symptoms, what your energy is trying to make you aware of, then you will get much better results than feeling sorry for yourself or taking pills in order to ignore.
Thank you, Abraham. When two mediums sit together and the energy seems to multiply for both at the same time, what does that mean and how can they work with that?
In a lot of cases, this may actually mean that they are building the energy, but the energy itself is not allowed to be harnessed. In this regard, if you have multiple mediums, but none directed for the energy, then they both have the capacity to build energy for one another, but the energy is never utilized or used, so it will continue to build.
Thank you. How does a Reiki initiation work to enhance a person's ability to channel healing energy work?
As I spoke earlier, we utilize mediums within your side of life to harness a range of a multitude of energies, both physical and spiritual, and everything in between. When you attune yourself to a certain modality, you make your conscious and subconscious mind aware of that energy. Indeed, once you're aware of that energy, it is much easier to facilitate that vibration and that energy through your form. We see a similar occurrence in the seances when you sit with a developing physical medium who has a certain ability. All of a sudden, you may catch and develop the ability yourself. But indeed, once your energy has learned how to replicate it, it is able to do so.
Thank you. In light of the current debate regarding abortion, can you tell us when the soul actually enters the physical body?
I would say that the soul makes the connection with the physical side at the moment of conception, and this is what allows the cells to multiply and to form.
Thank you. What is the cause of autism and can it be treated?
Indeed, there is no one form, no one cause. We wish to address a lot of the mental illnesses that currently exist within your awareness, within your side of life. I would say to look at your diets. I would say to look at your environments. For indeed, it is not just the toxins that you put inside the body, which are having a detrimental effect to the physical form, but also the toxins that you place upon the body. Your skin is a living organ. It is a living tissue with the ability to absorb. And indeed, many of the conditions that exist within your side of life can be addressed, can be filtered and overcome by simply changing the diet, changing the environment.
Thank you. If an injury or ailment is dealt with energetically and then goes, why then does the injury or ailment return sometime later?
You must treat your injuries, your symptoms, as simply that, symptoms, side effects of a cause. If you only treat the effects and you do not treat the cause, then it is very likely for the condition to return at a later time or to remanifest in another way. When we address healing, we must do more than address the symptoms. We must address the trigger, and we must address the cause, the root.
So if somebody does self-healing and recognizes this is the issue behind it, and they work with it via therapy, or does it just mean they really didn't address the energy deep enough or the cause deep enough? Is that the reason then?
An example I can give you. If you come to healing because you have a burned hand, and we treat the burn, but after the healing you choose to put your hand back into the fire, then you cannot complain that you got burned again. But indeed, this is exactly what occurs in many of the ailments and diseases that exist within your side of life. You come for healing to address the symptom, and then go and do the actions that created the symptom in the first place. Indeed, within your side of life, the concept of insanity is doing the same act over and over with the hopes of a different outcome.
That's humanity, yes. How about the effects of assisted suicide, euthanasia?
Indeed, you are not going to be punished when you return to my side of life. As we have spoken earlier, nobody returns to my side of life before they are meant to, and in a way that they are not meant to. Within your side of life, you have conditions for actions that are done to you, whether it is theft, harm, robbery, murder. But within my side of life, we have the understanding of why the action was carried out, what was achieved, what was learned, what was gained. And indeed, within your side of life, it is all a matter of perception. And depending which side of the fence you sit, an action can be seen as a horrible deed or a great victory. If you are a soldier fighting in a war, for the side that you are fighting against, you are a monster, you are a murderer. For the side that you are fighting for, you are a hero.
Yes, that is true. Thank you. Abraham, does one choose to be a healer or is one chosen? What are the dynamics? I read Edgar Cayce's story and it seems he had all the connection and knowledge available by going into a deep trance sleep.
Indeed, everything that exists within your ability set, within your skill set, has been chosen by you. Nothing is forced upon you that you do not choose for yourself. However, that decision is made by your higher self while you reside within my side of life, when you have the awareness of what you are choosing and why you are choosing it. But it is your choice.
Are you the same Abraham that is channeled by Esther Hicks?
I am a different personality in question. They are a group of entities that come together using the name. I am a personality known as Abraham who works with a group.
Thank you. Can narcissism and psychopathy be treated, and if so, how?
As I spoke earlier in regards to a lot of the mental health issues that currently exist in your side of life, most can be addressed through diet or by changing of environment. Other times we must look at the emotion. Indeed, everything you are is the sum of the experiences you have been through since your conception. So indeed, you must address where an individual may have gone off the pathway of loving and nurturing. If you can address this and make the change there, then yes, you can make some changes in the environment and in this condition.
Thank you. Will there be the possibility of self-healing in the future? I have read that when our DNA is more active, we will be able to use it effectively for healing. Can you comment on this, please?
To this, I would say the ability already resides within you, and it can already be harnessed. But yes, as I look down the timeline, your awareness of manifesting your illnesses, how you are responsible, how energy manifests, this awareness will grow. And as this awareness grows, the ability to treat this and deal with this will become more effective. But please understand that when you manifest illness and disease within your side of life, this is an opportunity to learn and grow. So illness will still exist within humankind. Disease, injury, will still exist in a form due to the experiences that it gained through this. And indeed, my friends, at the end of the day, however long you try to resist it, you will return to my side of life. And there needs to be a process that takes you from your side to my side.
Hopefully we all sleep over. Can you please explain the process of helping souls return to the spirit world? Are the souls actually trapped or lost? Can they not see the light, or are not loved ones waiting for them?
Any personality that returns from the physical realm to the spirit realm will go through a healing process. This process is individual to every personality. It is down to what is required for that aspect, for that spark, that personality, that soul. Indeed, as that personality transitions from the physical side to the spiritual side, you must understand that you are made of many levels energetically. And indeed, the personalities, the strong emotions, may leave imprints within the physical realm, within the physical fabric. This can be misinterpreted, that the individual in question is stuck. And this is not the case. The personality in question will be receiving healing within my side of life. But aspects of that personality may reside within the physical realm and need to be dealt with by those on your side.
So I had in an OBE, I met a young man who was using the coffee machine over and over, and I couldn't get his attention. Was that a layer which missed that he was shot, or is that what you're talking about? That I came across someone?
The easiest way to put it, but it is not completely accurate, but it will do for our discussion, is try to imagine it as a memory which has become stuck, an energy which is not moving on, which is not clearing itself, and may need some intervention in order to change that energy. But it is only a memory. It is not the personality in question.
So is it necessarily that they addressed and then cleaned, or does it matter to the personality?
In regards to the energy, and this is a much bigger subject, yes, it must be dealt with in some way. This energy must be cleared. This energy must resolve and move on. All energy within your side of life must return to energy neutral.
But can the personalities from your side of life sort that out, or does it have to be from our side?
We have many groups within my side of life that work specifically with this. And we have some groups that also work with your side of life, using your side's energies to harness the facility necessary to clear this energy.
Okay, thank you. What is being achieved by the wars and anger in the world right now?
Indeed, you are going through a great time of change, and you are not at the end of that change. Through this, mankind will come through stronger. Your awareness will grow stronger. Your unity will grow stronger. But you must understand, my friends, it is in your darkest moments that you will learn the most. And you are going through a dark time as you experience times. But rather than give in to the fear and allow that to manifest, again, look for the lesson within. Look for the light within the dark. And within yourself, become a beacon of light for others to follow.
Thank you. Edgar Cayce said, the soul doesn't take full residence with the body for some days after birth. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm aware it is normally 3 months after conception before the personality is fully created and formed within the fetus. When a child is born, they still have an awareness of my side of life. Their sensitivities are a lot stronger than those of the child or adult form. And indeed, the more they become entwined with the material world, the less sensitive they become to my side.
So is it then right for us to say until the children turn 7, they're often very psychic, very aware, very sensitive?
Indeed, it is around the 7 to 8 year mark as you experience time that sensitivities will begin to lessen even further.
Oh, okay.
And this
Now,
is down to chemical changes in the body that start this process.
Oh, okay. Can I just change the subject from healing? I read the other day about an ectoplasmic mediums in the past that the sitters would see the body when ectoplasm was withdrawn shriveled up, like dried up. Is that because you draw so much water from the body out of the cells, or is that just a story which is actually not even true?
It is true to an extent in the right conditions. And what I mean by this is it is not always done this way. It would depend upon the team and what they're trying to achieve. But indeed, when ectoplasm is exuded from the body, it is an extension of the body. The requirements to create the mass comes from the body. So indeed, yes, moisture will be taken.
And so when you see ectoplasm, which is really dry and rough or has holes in it, is that because of the condition of the body of the medium or they didn't drink enough water? Is that related?
It can be, yes. And this is why the medium is measured throughout the seance, that their weight should drop and then return when the ectoplasm is brought back to the body.
Okay, thank you. What is the process of accessing agreements and learnings as to what I will express, be of service before being born?
Sadly, there are no cheat books within the physical side of life. You would only be given awareness of the lessons that you have chosen if it is beneficial to the lessons that you are to experience. If it is not beneficial, this information will not be given to you. Often it can seem as if my side of life are intentionally withholding information from you when we speak within the trance state to you. But indeed, we are aware that sometimes if the information is given to you, it will not achieve the desired outcome. It will affect the outcome. It will affect the experience and stop you having the experience or the lesson that you have chosen to learn. So indeed, you would have to first ask yourself, do you need to know this information? And if so, why?
So it will only be given when it is beneficial to the individual.
Indeed, yes.
Thank you. The transfiguration I have seen in the last year seems holographic in nature rather than achieved through ectoplasm. Is this an accurate assessment?
Indeed, I'm aware that many of the teams that exist around your world at the moment are working with the veil, which works with the photoplasm and would create a holographic interpretation of this type of phenomena.
Thank you. And why and what are the purpose of producing a pulse, both in and out of trance and seances?
To my awareness, to my understanding, the purpose of the pulse is to provide an energetic anchor to your side of life. At times this may be for healing. At times this may be to adjust or to center your energy or to help with your development. But indeed, they are more than just shiny objects to distract your mind and to make you feel like you didn't get hard done by paying for a cheap ticket. Instead, they are there to provide energetic harmony, energetic resonance for a purpose.
Thank you. This Cole experiment apparently pioneered a form of physical mediumship that did not require ectoplasm. Is that what that should be pursued further? Yeah, we just answered, yeah.
Indeed, this is the photoplasm we speak of, yes.
Yeah. When entity speaks in a language other than that of the channel, how are we to understand that transmission?
Indeed, if it is not being able to be understood, then it is not beneficial to your side of life. In these cases, there may be a lack of communication between the intelligence of the spirit and the mind of the medium. The intelligence from my side of life may not be aware that they do not have control of the medium's database to speak in the medium's language, in which case we may need guidance from your side to encourage to utilize the medium's language, to go and get an interpreter, or to give some definition into what is wanting to be achieved by speaking a language that nobody in the room can understand.
So what's happened then with the light language people talk about now?
Even in this, there should be an understanding of what is being spoken or what is being interpreted through the communication.
Oh, okay. So if someone has, with one medium, there was a man from Japan in the seance and who spoke a really old Japanese language. And the medium, then the communicator, spoke to the gentleman in that language. Did they take the information from the sitter?
Wherever possible, the information will be taken from the medium's database or the sitter's database. That requires a lot less energy. However, if the conditions are right, the information can be taken from anywhere within your side of life or my side of life.
Oh, wow. Thank you. How is blood type related to mediumship, please?
In regards to the blood type, the proteins within the blood may attack the formation of ectoplasm, which is why not all mediums within your side of life have the ability, the capacity to produce an abundance of the ectoplasm. And with that, my friends, I shall now return the medium.
Thank you very much.